The North Pole, 1794. Captain Robert Walton, leading an expedition in the North Pole, has his ship stranded as it is trapped in ice. Believing that there is nothing out here to discover or explore, with his crew in disappointment and freezing cold, until they hear gunshots in the distance. They then hear someone running towards them. They then see a man running up to them, exhausted and cold, before collapsing. The crewmen get off the boat and take this man to Walton's cabin, where, as the man regains consciousness, Captain Walton asks, "Who are you, might I ask?" Weak and starving and cold, the man says, "My name is Victor Frankenstein." "Victor Frankenstein," said Captain Walton. "Yes." "Why are you out here?" said Captain Walton. "There is no life out here but cold and Arctic exposure, maybe a few animals, but nothing really interesting. I'm out here on a revenge mission to kill the abomination that I have been trying to get rid of now for the last year." "What are you talking about?" "This monster. He took everything from me, and I've been trying to kill this thing ever since." "Okay, what is this thing?" said Captain Walton. "It's a long story." "And why is this thing out for you?" "Because I created it. It goes back a year. We then go back to the early years." Victor Frankenstein explained to Captain Walton that he grew up in a wealthy estate, the Frankenstein estate, where he lived with his mother and father, his mother dying in childbirth, giving birth to his brother William Frankenstein, but also adopting a young girl named Elizabeth, whose parents had died from scarlet fever and were taken in by the Frankenstein family. Over the years, Frankenstein and Elizabeth grew close, and soon their love for one another went from a sibling kind of love to a much stronger connection. Over the years, Frankenstein studied biology and science, hoping to one day perform a miracle, as that was his ambition. Many years later, now grown up, Victor Frankenstein has a picnic on a warm, sunny day, telling Elizabeth, "You know, I believe that everything is powered by electricity." "Why do you think that for, Victor?" "Well, it's just electricity from the sky. Lightning. I believe it can be contained and provide power one day, but I also think it could bring back life, or even create new life. See that cloud over there? Oh, that black one, yes. It's coming straight towards us. We better go inside." "I know, but just think, with the powers of that lightning, the ambition, I believe we could maybe bring back the dead one day." "Victor, you talk such wonderful nonsense," said Elizabeth. Science, said Victor. We have so much theories, and that's the whole point. Is there life after death? Is there a God? Victor, you know there is a God. Of course there is. How else would we be here? But why are we here? I believe we're put here to, well, I'm not sure, but maybe God is giving me ideas, giving me knowledge of such things, such wonders. Later on in the evening, as Victor, his father, and William, also now grown up as a young adult, and Elizabeth, all dine, discussing Frankenstein's theory of lightning. Victor's father then says, "My dear boy, you should be carrying on with your studies." "I know, I have, father, but I just have such great ambition, such knowledge, such theories. I believe if I can get the right funding, I can build some sort of machine that could, I don't know, restore life or maybe even create life." "Victor, my dear boy, we men of science can do many things, but we're not God." "I know, father, but what if we're one day meant to... Enough with this. Follow science, find medicines for things, but don't go sticking your brain waves into things that could have dire consequences, Victor." "Yes, father. I'm sorry." Victor then studies in his journal, having the theory of lightning, believing that maybe he could bring back life. Testing his theory in his lab, which is his study, he takes a dead frog and manages to conduct enough electricity on a stormy night. Being lucky, he manages to get enough electricity and jolts it with the toad, making it move. Thinking, this is just the whole current moving through it. I need to go to Geneva. The next day, Frankenstein's father says, "You want to go to Geneva?" "Yes, father, I do." "But your brother's engagement." "I know. It is wonderful. Who is she again, the lucky woman?" "Oh, well, you know who she is." Of course, her mother used to nanny for you, didn't she? Well, I'll be back for when you should marry." "But Victor..." "Where are you going?" said Elizabeth. "To Geneva. I need to reconnect with my former mentor, Waldman. He had so much theories and ideas on electricity. Maybe I can go and study it even more. See, being a scientist, I love studying and discovering new things. Come with me, Elizabeth." "Come with you?" "Yes. You know, Elizabeth, you have been a good sister to me, and you are part of this family, but my feelings for you have grown over the years. I feel... Say no more, Victor. I love you too. More than just a brother. You do, yes." Victor then kisses Elizabeth and tells her to come with him to Geneva. And then, while she thinks about it, he then proposes to her, saying, "I don't have a ring with me right now, but will you be my wife?" "Oh, Victor, I don't know what to say, but Yes, I will. Excellent. Then tomorrow we begin our journey to Geneva. Victor and Elizabeth then make their way to Geneva, where, during a lecture, Victor's former tutor, Professor Waldman, is giving a lecture on death and life. Then, after dismissing his class, he's then greeted by Victor Frankenstein saying, "Ah, Victor, how lovely to see you, old boy. It's been a long time." "Yes, I was just wondering, can we maybe talk this evening in the tavern?" "Oh, of course. Any time for you, my former star pupil. Is this your mistress?" "This is my fiancée, Elizabeth." "Ah, yes, you're a lucky woman, marrying this chap." Yes, well, let's talk this evening." As the evening comes in, Victor discusses his theories and wishes to perform an experiment. "I don't know. This is quite interesting to think, but it's merely just a fantasy. You can't honestly think you can bring back the dead or maybe even create new life with this knowledge." "Well, I've had this idea in my mind for a long time. I've even designed things in this journal." Waldman studies the journal and says, "Well, this stuff looks expensive, but quite doable. That's another thing. I need your financial support." "Financial support? I mean, you need a subject as well. How will you do that?" "Well, that's another thing. Let's just focus on the machine first and the materials." "Okay, then," said Waldman. Victor and Waldman brainstorm, come up with ideas, and finance the project, building this machine. Then Waldman asks, "So how will you test this machine? You need a subject." "Oh, I'm sure I can find something." "I need a dead subject." "Of course, but how will you do that?" I'll find a way. I'll find a way." Victor, later that night, goes to a graveyard where he sees shallow graves and unburied graveyards. Looking at a grave that is yet to have the dirt put down, he's then startled by a creepy voice. "Can I help you?" Startled by it, he sees a man with a hunched back. He then says, "Oh dear, I'm just looking. Who is this person that you're about to bury?" "He is none other than a thief. Most of these carcasses in this graveyard are thieves, murderers. No one to care, no one to miss them. I am Igor, by the way." "Igor? I'm Victor Frankenstein." "Nice to meet you. What brings you here?" "Well, as I said, could I maybe look at this body?" "You're free to try." Victor looks. With the stench of death, he sees a body and says, "Oh, this is all rotting. However, this arm is quite intact. I shall take this." Then Victor takes the arm and conducts a little electricity with pieces of the machine that are built and creates an electrical current. Then he sees the hand move, amazed by this. But then hears Elizabeth coming and says, "Victor?" Elizabeth, as he quickly covers the arm, she says, "What is that?" "Oh, just an old experiment, something for the project." "What is it you're doing here, by the way? Are you really going to put your theory to the test?" "Well, yes, that's what science is all about. I've studied this. I just need the right materials to try this on now. I'm going to make history, Elizabeth. I'm going to do what no other scientist has ever done before." Victor, the following night, returns to the graveyard, where he is greeted by Igor. Igor digging up graves for him, collecting bodies and looking at parts. And you can see this part is all rotted up on this one, but this one has some good preserved. I think it'll do nicely. Victor then starts collecting bits of body parts of people's corpses, of thieves and murderers, and loading them onto a carriage, with Igor assisting him. Victor then says, "Thank you, Mr. Igor. I don't know what I could have done without you." "You want to bring these parts back to life, or give them a new life, don't you?" "How do you know that?" "It is not hard to work out. I am a man of science, but of course with my disfigurement, people do not take me seriously. But I like to think, could we do incredible things? Of course, I am not qualified like you are, Dr. Frankenstein." "No, you're not. Say, how would you feel about assisting me in this project? I mean, up to now, the only people who know of these grave robbings are you and me." "I guess I could, but will you make it worth my while?" "Whatever you get paid for this graveyard job, I will give you double the amount." "You have yourself a deal, Dr. Frankenstein." "Excellent. Now, we need to try and find out what parts we can use." Back in the lab, Victor looks and sees organs, body parts, skeleton pieces, and wonders if all these pieces are put together, could he create a new life form? He then gets to work as him and Igor start piecing together body parts of all these corpses. The next morning, having not slept, Victor feels ready, stating, "There'll be a storm in a few nights, I believe. At least I'm hoping. We need a good source of electricity to power this machine." "I see. You want to create life." "Yes." Then Elizabeth comes in, saying, "Victor? Elizabeth, what's going on?" "Look, the project is almost complete. I think I'm on the edge of a huge scientific breakthrough, Victor. We have to go. There's been an epidemic of scarlet fever. We have to leave before they quarantine this whole village that we're staying in. Let's return home." "No, Elizabeth, I can't go. Not now. Professor Waldman has provided me so much financial support. I can't just put all this work to waste." "Victor, you're a good man of science, but surely this is about our health and well-being." "Elizabeth, I'm sorry, I love you, but I'm on the urge of a huge scientific breakthrough. And this must come first, my love. I'm sorry. I asked you, Victor, to make a choice, and I see you have chosen your work over me. Goodbye. Elizabeth, wait! Elizabeth then leaves, getting into a carriage and leaving the village before quarantine begins. As for Igor, he asks Frankenstein, "What do you wish to do now, Dr. Frankenstein?" We do it. We finish putting this thing together, and then we wait for the storm. And if our calculations are right, the storm, with this lightning rod I've managed to place on the roof, with this machine we could bring new life. So let us do this. Then Waldman walks in, saying, "Victor Frankenstein, what is this? I hear that you've declined your chance to return home before the village goes into lockdown." "Yes, Professor." "What is this you're doing?" No, please, this is delicate equipment." Waldman then removes the sheets as he looks in terror, saying, What the fuck is this? It reeks of rotting corpses. They're the body parts and pieces of thieves and murderers. No good people, no one to care for them. They're for this experiment, for this machine we built. You are planning to bring something to life that is made out of evil. I knew you wanted this machine for some kind of experiment, but this is disgusting. This is an act against God. No, it's not. What if God put us on Earth, put me on Earth, gave me this knowledge? What if I'm meant to do this? You are not. You are to stop this project immediately. I'll give you a week. That should give you long enough to take down this machine as it has to put it up. A week, Victor, and get rid of that thing. It's disgusting. As Waldman then leaves the room. And as he leaves the room, he then states, "I see you've got this hunchback working for you." "Yes, he assists me." "Yes, well, he too is not a good example for your experiments." "I am here, you know. I do have feelings." "Yes, of course you do." "End this, now," said Waldman. As he leaves, Igor asks him, "So what do you want to do, Doctor?" "Go through with it. We're too far in now to just give up." A few nights later, Elizabeth, now back home at the Frankenstein estate, explains to William, his fiancée and Victor's father, about that he would rather spend his time in quarantine and conduct some experiment that could or could not fail. But angry as she is with Victor, she still loves and cares for him and thinks about him and waits. Meanwhile, in Geneva, in the small village town, the lightning storm is in full boom. Victor, powering his machine and having the subject covered, he then hires it up, instructing Igor and assisting him in every way. He then says, "We only get one shot at this. It has to be worth it." "Of course, Dr. Frankenstein." Then, hoping the lightning will strike, he holds out hope. Then, a big bolt of lightning strikes the top of the lab, where it conducts through the lightning rod, powering the machine. As it does, it then sends electrical voltages through the subject covered up, with another lightning strike coming down. It also makes the corpse shake. Victor then says, "Okay, we now need to give him the electric eels," as he pours buckets of water with electric eels in, giving it the jolt and the charge. Then, as another lightning strikes, the body then starts to move, and then he hears a scream from it. He then tells Igor to lower the machine. As he then brings it down, he then tips over the crate with the eels in, with the corpse still covered up. He then says, "Is it alive? Come on, live. For God's sake, live." Victor then starts thumping at the chest piece, where he then gives up hope, saying, Fuck, a dead end." Then Igor sees the hand move, saying, Victor, look, what?" He then sees the hand is moving, and he hears grunting from the covers. He then says, "It's alive. It's alive." Victor then unravels the subject, as he then shouts in delight, "It's alive! My God, it's alive! Now I know what it's like to be God." Be God. He then takes a good look at the creature, with wires still hooked to it with bolts on it. He then goes, "Oh no. Oh God, what have I done? You've created new life, Dr. Frankenstein. You're a genius." "No, Igor. Elizabeth was right. The professor was right. I've performed an act of God. God should be the only one to create new life. Not man. But like you said, God gave you this knowledge." "No. He probably gave me this knowledge to test me. And I failed." Victor then makes one final recording in his journal, writing, "The experiment was successful, yet I fear I may have committed an act of God. I haven't just created new life. I've created an abomination. And tomorrow I will get rid of all of this." He then places his journal in his long cloak hung up. He then says, "Igor, Dr. Frankenstein, but this whole thing is what we've been trying to achieve, isn't it?" "No, this must not get out. Do you hear me? How much will this take for you to not breathe a word of this?" "I've assisted you. I could do with a new purpose instead of manning the cemetery. I could use another position in my service quarters at my mansion. There you can be fed, bathed, and treated with respect. That sounds like a good deal to me, but what are we going to do with that thing? We will get rid of it tomorrow. Right now, I need to sleep. Frankenstein then goes to sleep, as does Igor. As for the creature now laying on the table, big and bulking, it then opens its eyes and lets out a groan.